Oh, those muggy little seagulls are not going to be happy.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hijack. Chelsea. Brighton. Feels good, man. Look, many of you, understandably, aren't turned on by the potentially imminent signing of midfielder Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Yeah, I get it. We've spoken about it at length. But today we're going to find out what actually is going on with this player. And I'm going to share with you the stats. We're going to have a look at this guy and see if he's good, what he brings, and we can make a decision together how we feel about it. But for context, he wants to join Chelsea. Of course, he played with Enzo Maresca last season at Leicester, winning the championship. He was going to go to Brighton, but he's said... Well, Romano said Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall has given the green light to the Chelsea move after the formal step to inform Brighton the deal has collapsed. I think he had a medical with Brighton. They had a deal going on for a swap or cash or something. But he wants to go to Chelsea. Personal terms are not an issue, rather unsurprisingly. And talks are ongoing, and Chelsea want to include players as well, potentially separate. And we're going to read an article from Matt Law in just a moment. But it's interesting. Stuff is happening. So thank you for joining me. If you want to support the content, it's simple. You just drop a like to show that you love me. Subscribe if you want to. Hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby, if you do subscribe. And let's get into it. Alright, so I will show you the stats, friends, but at the moment, well, prior to that, should I say, we're going to read Matt Law's article. Chelsea are holding more talks with Leicester City over Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and could be open to allowing a player to move in the opposite direction if a straight cash deal proves difficult. Well, you know, the new owners of Chelsea want to do trades, player trades. But Dewsbury-Hall has been poised to join Brighton. Firstly, muggy little seagulls, with Jakob Moder moving to Leicester. But the deal has been placed in the balance due to Chelsea's interest. Look, I'm joking when I take the mick out of Brighton. Brighton fans, utmost respect. Brighton as an institution, massive respect. What boy have these guys been run well and made loads of money and performed admirably. I'm only mugging them off and being silly, jovial, because they've mugged us off. You know, they've made loads of money out of us. So it's just a bit playful, and I do like to go muggy little seagulls. Leicester valued Dewsbury-Hall at £35 million. And are under pressure to raise cash, of course, to help comply with the PSR rules. Or PSR, yeah, Profit and Sustainability rules. It remains to be seen whether Chelsea would meet that asking price, but the club have a number of players that could be allowed to make the switch to Leicester. Striker Armando Broja is understood to be of some interest to the Midlands club, who have lost Kelechi Iheanacho and are looking to sign a striker and a midfielder this summer. What about Cesare Casado, who did well there? That would probably be really good. Broja is already on the radar of at least two other Premier League clubs, one of which is thought to be Everton. Yeah, Broja is also, we've spoken about this. Is it Milan and Monaco? Certainly two Champions League clubs are looking at Broja as well. David Datro Fofana, and this would be a great signing for Leicester, by the way, David Datro Fofana. I think, legitimately, Fofana would be good at Leicester. And Casado. Could you just do those two players for... But those two players have got to be worth more than 35 million collectively. David Datro Fofana is another forward. Chelsea are open to moving in this window. Of course, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen the video I uploaded earlier today, I talk about Mark Yu, an Athletic article actually that we get into detail about how Mark Yu, this young striker who's on significant wages at Chelsea, represents excellent value. And of course, we reference in that video Fofana, Broja, some of the development squad strikers, and what to do with them. So this is interesting. Obviously, Broja or Fofana could go to Leicester. And by the way, if you are interested in our new centre forward from Barcelona, I would recommend you go and watch that video from earlier today, because it's a good video. So yes, so David Datro Fofana has also been gaining interest from other European clubs, having spent, of course, half this season on loan at Burnley. He did actually quite well at Burnley, all things considered. Yes, midfielder Cesare Casado could also leave Stamford Bridge. The midfielder spent the first half of the season on loan at Leicester and shares the same agency as the club's new manager, Steve Cooper. Wow, okay, so the new gaffer at Leicester, his agency is the same as Cassidy, who enjoyed a very promising loan spell there. I mean, that makes total sense. Surely. Don't call me Shirley. Cassidy has already attracted interest from at least one leading European club this summer. Yeah, I think Cassidy was an excellent portfolio signing. I know it's cynical and many of you guys don't want to hear that, but I think it probably was. You know, I don't think he necessarily was going to make it at Chelsea. I feel like coming to English football from the Internazionale Academy, you know, playing Reading, playing Leicester, I think he went to Reading, you know, playing a little bit of Chelsea, just experience learning English. I think this has all been a great career move for him, and I feel like he could get a Premier League move in Leicester. I think that would probably be a great path for him, and some dinero for the Chelsea. Chelsea have already completed a deal in which two players moved in opposite directions. Of course, this is referencing Amari Kellyman coming to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, the attacking midfielder, and Ian Martin joining Villa for £37.5 million, which is a lot of money. Signing Dewsbury Hall would certainly leave Chelsea needing to sell midfielders, increasing the speculation over Conor Gallagher and also raising doubts over the immediate future of Carney Chukwuemeka. Referenced this earlier today, Twomey wrote in his Athletic article that Chelsea could play between 75 and 80 games next season. You're going to need midfielders, especially when you don't know if Lavia's fitness. But yes, of course, the story of Gallagher will continue to rotate. I don't think the Euros is helping out. I mean, Gallagher won't care, but he didn't have a great game last time out for England. The fact that the 25-year-old at Dewsbury Hall is left-footed is attractive to Chelsea, as their other central midfielders are right-footed, and he is a player who fits the system of the new head coach Enzo Maresca, who managed him last season. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we don't have any other left-footed midfielders, I know like attacking midfielders like Palmer or Paez or Esteval or whatever, but a functional midfielder to have a left footer is actually really helpful in there. And yeah, of course, he knows Maresca's system and has played with him. But that is interesting. By the way, I'm going to show you the stats in a moment, of which I don't know. I haven't looked at them yet. I've prepared the pages, but I haven't actually looked at them. I spoke to a couple of Leicester fans, and I think I pinned a comment in one of the videos recently. Leicester fans saying he was the best player. Like, he is an excellent player coming into his prime. He's not a child. Many people, of course, have been frustrated with Chelsea signing just children. He's a 25-year-old moving into his prime years as a senior player and has been performing. I know it's the Championship, but he's reaching his peak, and they're all like, you know, he is the one. Of course, they wouldn't be selling him had they not had profit and sustainability rules issues. It's not that they're trying to flog him. They have to flog him because he's like their best player. Just something to consider. I think maybe because he's called Dewsbury Hall as well, like a double-barreled surname, and he's not called, like, you know, Ronaldo. So do you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't got like this sort of Galactico exotic name that people aren't getting overly excited about him. These little things sort of sometimes play into people's perceptions, don't they? He's seen as a different and more attacking option than Chelsea's other central midfielders, who are likely to challenge for first-team places, such as Caicedo, Fernandes, Lavia, and Gallagher. I mean, none of them are real, like, attacking midfielders. Fernandes is kind of a pass master, but I think we'll see Fernandes play deeper, as he did when he won the World Cup for Argentina. And to be honest, you don't get, you know, Caicedo is not an attacking midfielder. Lavia is closer to Kovacic, like a sort of playing tight spaces, progress the ball, dribbling. And we know what Gallagher is. Gallagher's got a goal in him, but he's a sort of high-octane pressing and running machine. So yeah, it's not, you know, there's a functionality to Dewsbury Hall, but he's very offensive as well. Of course, it references as well Leeds' Archie Gray, who's valued over £30 million, is a similar profile to players Chelsea already have, making it unlikely the club will follow up their interest in him during this transfer window. Chelsea remain in the market for a first-team striker, a right-footed winger, and at least one more defender. So there's a lot of stuff still to cover here in this transfer window, and you can get it here on Football Therapy. So, should we look at Dewsbury Hall then? The left-footed central... he's not an attacking midfielder. He's a central midfielder with attacking qualities. It certainly looks like. Let's take a look. Here we go. So, woo, look at that heat map just above my webcam there. Left footer playing on the left side. Getting to the... Look at that heat map. He's getting in, like, to the byline, to the touchline byline. Played like a winger as a sort of number 8. So let's have a look. He is 25. He turns 26 in the 9th month. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. A couple of months. Probably could have guessed that, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. Look at his performance chart. Pretty strong. Whenever you see the graph go this wide, it's good. Not great at aerials, but I don't think you will be buying him for that. Very good at carries, assisting, passing. Pretty strong at recoveries and shooting. But let's look at his stats, man. I'm a stat man. Per 90. Direct goal involvement per 90 is 0.64 with a large body. Like you play best part of 3,700 minutes. That's a massive body of evidence. Yeah, a really strong return there. Attempted passes per 90 over 46. Pretty good, but considering he's a carrier as well and someone that scores and assists. We're going to look at his FB ref stuff in just a moment as well. Woof. So he's in the 83rd percentile for expected goals of all midfielders. Pretty strong. He's called here a chance creator on the polar charts here. So lots of final third passes, which is good. You need to score goals. Lots of expected assists, expected attacking threat. Very good at carries, through balls. So look, make stuff happen essentially in the final third, which is very. Oh god, he's in the 90. Can you see that? He's in the 99th percentile for expected assists and open play expected assists, which is very, very strong. Very strong actually. I know it's the championship. But still, bro. So let's look at this then. This is his scouting report on FB Ref, which is obviously a website that everyone uses. I want to look at his strengths, so I've done the, press the down of the percentile button so we can look at his strengths. His strongest strengths are... I should move this more centrally as well, just so you guys can see it a little bit better. His strongest strengths are... Why is that a tongue twister? Assists. He's in the top 1% of all midfielders for assists. Non-penalty expected goals. Expected assists. Expected assisted goals. God, why can't I speak English? Non-penalty XG and expected assisted goals. Top 1% as well. Look at it. It keeps going down. These are all top 1%. Key passes, 2.7 key passes per game is elite, and that's why he's in the top 1%. Same for goal creating action, same for successful take-ons that lead to a goal, touches in the final third, bearing in mind he was playing for Leicester in the Championship, so they're going to be a dominant side in the attacking third, in touches in the attacking penalty area, and now you're getting to the top 2%, goals and assists, non-penalty goals expected. So he essentially, what he's doing here, he's bringing in very, very, very strong metrics in attack, but from central midfield. Now, this is good because Chelsea for a long, long time, we haven't had that, have we? Like, we really haven't. Of course, we had Cesc Fabregas. I guess in the 17-18 season, Antonio Conte's second season, and of course his last season with Chelsea. He changed from a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2 to accommodate Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas at the time was like a sub. He'd start cup games or would come on off the bench and start, put his foot on the ball and try and see out games. The starting double six, as Thomas Tuchel would call it, was Matic and Kante that first season. But then of course we got Bakayoko, so it all went a bit funny after that. But Cesc is a goal threat, but he's a massive creator and an assister. But we never really replaced that. Of course, what did we have in midfield after that? Bakayoko, yeah, I mean, come on. Danny Drinkwater, another central midfielder from Leicester, didn't really do anything. I'm trying to think from there. Of course, we had Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, which was very functional under Tuchel, and we ultimately won the Champions League under. But we were playing a wing-back system, and we had fully fit and prime Reece James and Ben Chilwell, another Leicester player, doing really well, chipping in with goals. So you sort of relied on the functionality of the midfield. We're not doing that now. And then we didn't get any goals from Jorginho. Kante got a few towards the end, I suppose. or every now and again. But really, we didn't get any goals in that midfield. And, you know, Mason Mount, I guess, but Mason Mount was playing as a front three player. And to get an actual CM who can assist and score, I'm not saying he's Frank Lampard, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, but I can understand the allure because of that. So there's a few things. He can assist and score from central midfield. He knows the new Chelsea gaffer and knows how we want to play, and therefore can hopefully and theoretically boost us towards, you know, finding the Enzo Maresca football quicker. And I know it's really reductive, but he's left-footed, and you do need some balance. And as soon as you have a left footer available in that central midfield, it opens up, you know, different passing lanes. When, you know, the opposition defenders are used to putting certain midfielders on one foot, on, you know, throwing them on their weight on one foot. It's just a different question being asked. So if Dewsbury Hall on the left swaps with another number 8 or midfielder, the defenders are like, oh, okay, what foot do I want to put them on? Do you know what I mean? Rather than, actually, all these Chelsea midfielders are right-footed, so we know exactly what to do. Do you know what I mean? It is reductive, but at the same time, it's important to note. So, off the bat, it looks like a very helpful addition, provided this is a request from the Chelsea manager as well. Like, I don't want to just be like... Because it stinks of that, doesn't it? Like, because he's just had him and he was his most important... I know Harry Winks is very important in the midfield as well. But possibly his best player, Dewsbury Hall, in a title-winning side, he's like, oh, can you get me him? And it will make us much better quicker. I'm not saying Dewsbury Hall is the future of Chelsea's midfield. I'm not going to write him off, but I don't feel like he's going to be the star. But while you wait for, you know, Caicedo, Fernandes, who knows, maybe a Chukwuemeka to get going and be these midfielders... this guy, who's 25, is a few years older than them. He'll get us a head start and get us going. And for, let's say we spend £28 million on him, and it gets us into the Champions League. It will pay off then, but lots of ifs and buts. I don't know, I don't hate it, but, you know, well, it's obviously not the most sexiest signing in the world. I do put it out to you guys, let me know what you think. Comment down below, keep it locked, because as the stories develop, I'll hopefully be here as quick as possible to give you my commentary, reaction, and indeed the information. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace!